Now tell me if I'm lying. About most gardeners waiting until the first warm day of March to panic. Suddenly, the seed box is a hot mess. Soil's frozen, stores are sold out, and you're there saying, I thought gardening was supposed to be fun. But here's the secret. The smartest gardeners, they start in the fall. And it's not even because we're extra organized. It's just that prepping now means that we can glide into the spring instead of sprinting. And today, I'm going to show you how to do it. Even if your seed box is overflowing, or you haven't even touched your soil since you pulled that last tomato plant, no judgments. Same here, but your garden is talking to you right now. The soil, the seeds, the mess, they're all giving you information. Sweetheart, listen to me on this one. If you wait until spring, the buzz of gardening season will hit, and suddenly you're going to find yourself overspending, overcommitting, and totally burned out. Ask me how I know. So I quit that craziness, and now I do things this way. And actually, I find myself one step ahead of everyone else. Look, the only reason that I've been able to garden consistently in a small space and with a full-time job is because I treat gardening like a lifestyle, not a sprint. And I set myself up for the next season while I'm in the current one. So stick with me because I'm going to walk you through the 4 zones every gardener should tighten up this fall: seed, supplies, storage, and spring planting. And oh, you're also going to take a look at my baby fall garden. So no matter what your garden size, after this video, you're going to leave here ready. And dare I say, a little smug come March. Okay, so you remember the fall seed haul video that I just did, right? Well, all those seed packets ended up here. And this isn't where they're supposed to go. No, my seeds actually have a beautiful home. Yeah, all that stuff lives right here. You open up this door and I just keep my seed stuff here because it's practical, right? My garden is just right there. And so I'm sure that you have seen these. These are the photography boxes. I have one for my fall crops, and then I have another for spring and summer crops. But in the flurry of planting my seeds, they normally end up in this little decorative thing that I thought was for holding our remotes. And look, if you're doing any kind of gardening, I know your seeds look like this too sometimes. Well, these sort of made it to the box. But you know what? I've learned that this mess is actually okay. In fact, it's fantastic because it's information. Because this is the time of year when I do what I'll call a seed postmortem. That's right. This is telling me what got planted, what thrived, and what's been sitting here for years. One thing I don't want to do, but have absolutely done in the past, is to impulse buy seeds like candy. Now, I can understand not getting to something the first year, but then the second year, and by the third, it's like, well, why did you even buy it? Now, yes, seeds can last for many years if you store them properly. So you want to make sure that you tuck them in a cool, dry place, even the fridge or the freezer if you're serious. And when you do that, they're going to be able to germinate for many seasons. But if I haven't touched something in 2 to 3 years, I need to think about that reason. Maybe my family didn't enjoy eating it, or I didn't enjoy growing it, or it doesn't fit my space. And that's okay. Okay, so the first problem that I'm noticing are my labels. So these are just kind of, I used what I had on hand, but these things come off so easily, right? And so they end up there, then I stick them back on and they fall back off. So I actually am going to go ahead and take a label maker and make them flush this year. That way they'll stay on. The second little issue is that my seed packets, sometimes either when I go to pull out my seeds, and I've used the paper clips, but then maybe like the paper clip will fall off. But from time to time, I will have seeds that either spill like in the container or even like in here. And that's because most seed packets don't have a resealable closure, but you can fix that. So I'll link these. They were not expensive, but y'all, I got this pack of 150 resealable bags. Now you can get like ones that have designs on them, but I just wanted something that I could quickly just like write on. And I got various sizes. Let me go ahead. This pack comes in 3 sizes, and this is going to be enough for me to switch over everything and have like extras in stock. Or maybe it's 2 sizes. Yeah, okay. So it's 2 different sizes. So you've got like this smaller seed pack and then this one. And I love it because you can still see like the quantity here through the window that's there. And it actually has, and these feel like really heavy duty, y'all. Like these are nice. They are nice and thick. And so here's what I'm going to do. I don't want to fool with paper clips that I'm taking on and off. You know, I don't want to staple them. Yeah. So I've been doing stuff like this, which like is fine. But also I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just do this now. But I'm pretty certain that what I want to do is I am just going to pour the seeds into this new envelope that zips. And then on this side, I will just, staple it so that this is just like the packet of information, because I still want to absolutely keep the seed packet. I just don't want to have like the seeds in here. They'll instead be in here. And here's our label maker. Oh yeah, that's going to work so much better. So now when it's time for me to open up my case, I don't have those tags that are snagging. Oh my goodness, this is just, look, this is so nice. Now, one thing that I did to set me up for success is, for example, if I had seed packets that are completely unopened, I left them there, but then I just went ahead and distributed the packets here so that they're like already ready for me to use. And in terms of the packets that I pulled out just to kind of notice what was empty or what was still open and wasn't getting used, I have really curated things, as I have shared with you over the years, where I only am planting what I grow. I'm not interested in having like a huge seed collection off of impulse buys. And so I actually don't even have all of the bins like here. Well, for my spring crops, I do, because that's my favorite season. But for my warm weather crops, it's not even like all the way full, but it's things like zucchini. I ate this. I'm out of celery. Carrots. I mean, these were just things like I grow all of this stuff. And so that was really exciting. And this is what you want to see. Now this one is a good one and I can't wait to show you. But fall is actually my secret weapon for supply shopping. Because remember, this time of year, most everyone else is winding down. But that's when I'm grabbing potting soil, vermiculite, perlite, and all those other not so sexy basics. And you know why? Because this time of year, when you walk into Ace Hardware, Lowe's, the Home Depot, wherever, the shelves are going to be fully stocked. And sometimes on sale, especially right after Labor Day. And I don't know about you, but come March, I'm not going to be fighting 20 other gardeners for inventory. And if you follow my kitchen and home videos, you know that this is exactly what I do there too. I love thrifting and buying when no one else is even thinking about it. You want to stock up when it's quiet, stash it away, and then spring, that becomes plug and play. Oh, I want to go ahead and say this before I forget. So even if I don't find like the potting mix or my vermiculite on sale, here's what I have noticed. It is always cheaper in the fall than it is in the spring. Okay, so all that actually leads me to talk about storage, because gardening can get overwhelming fast if you don't have a system. And look, my setup is not HGTV worthy, but it is absolutely functional. I'm going to show you my setup, not because it is complete. It is not. This is an active work zone. Like, this is what I'm doing right now, bit by bit. It is a Wednesday night, 6:35. And so here's kind of what I'm thinking about the space that is right underneath of my deck. So there are two primary spaces, the space directly under the deck and then the space underneath the deck that is covered, so stuff under here stays dry. So this is where I have my potting bench. This is an outdoor worm bin. Love this thing. It's called the Hungry Bin. I've shared before about like my worm castings and all of that. But then directly underneath of here, I used to have buckets that I would like tilt. They were kind of heavy. I mean, it worked, but I wanted that system to be improved. So now I have these, I don't know, containers, I'm just going to call them, that have my potting mix like right here. So when I'm seated in front of everything, I just scoop, bring it to the table, and I love it. I do need to go ahead. I want to add some labels so that it's very clear what's in here, but I have two of those directly here. I like to keep my sink in this area because this is where my hose is, and then it attaches to another hook that I have on the deck for when I'm watering the grain stalks, but then also when I'm down here, and it just makes it handy for when I keep quail several times throughout the year. And then in this section, I just have bin containers, but here's the thing. Everything has to be on wheels. And so I love these big handles. You could even, if you wanted to, stack these, but most of the time, like, I can just access this. I don't have to ask my husband, and I love that. So like, if I needed to wheel these out, I could. But in here is where I keep all of my kind of like grain stalk accessories. So like my covers, well, most of my things are in here, and then I even have them like covered again in like different trash bags. So this container has like my green stalk plant supports, and I made sure like last weekend I just rinsed all of these off. You know, you want to make sure that you're storing them clean. Again, that way they're just ready to go in the fall. But I also have my spring refresher, again, also on wheels. Everything is covered in this container and is clear so that I can easily see quantities. This is a mix that I just make myself out of vermiculite and perlite. Sometimes I'll even add some cocoa core, but this is what I'll use in the spring to refresh everything here. And it's just one container for all of my green stalks. Everything else is organic inputs from like kitchen scraps that I make myself. This is a little outdoor seat that I love, so I can keep it outside. I'm not worried about it getting wet. It collapses, and this is what I use in front of my potting bench. So what I need to focus on is making sure that I have all of my mixes ready to go. Okay, friends, let's see what we can find at Lowe's. All right, so I'm inside, and this is the inventory we're looking at, which, y'all, this is pretty good because I have been here before where like most things are just gone. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it now because that way I don't have to worry about like if it's not here, then I have to like make multiple stops after work to check to see if it's arrived. And so I do want to go ahead and get some more perlite. So for the 8-quart bag, it's $6.98. And remember, I already have a bit of mix left. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get 2 of each now. Okay, so I actually got 2 of the perlite and then 3 of the vermiculite. And then I wanted to just swing over here to the seeds. Oh my goodness, I just love this section. I find myself over here at the indoor plants, even though I do not have enough indoor light to keep a lot of house plants. Oh, so pretty. Okay, anyways, focus. So I wanted to show you this section because look, here is the seed section. And you know that by late spring, if you wait too late sometimes, the stuff is already picked over. But they're gonna go ahead and get their second or third inventory, and you can find nearly everything here in great quantities. So again, now is the time to get whatever you need. And they keep out things that you can grow year round. So you're gonna find your summer crops and then also for fall as well. And then, yeah, even this side looks really good as well. And I'm mentioning this because I have absolutely seen this completely bare. Oh y'all, so this is what I'm also talking about. I actually have a collection of house flags, and I do this at the end of the season is when I get them. Look at this, originally priced $20, now it's $5. And these are gorgeous, oh my goodness. Like you get the stake and the flag. So it's not just, I'm gonna have to wait until spring, you know, for this, but like, who cares? I totally will. These are just, oh, this is so pretty. You cannot beat that price. And these are like well made. They're not like cheapy cheap. This one's cute, but I already have a French bulldog. I think I'm gonna have to get Snoopy. Yeah, let me show you what else they have. Oh, that's cute for baseball season. Oh my gosh. Oh, I've got to get this one. Oh my goodness. That's a chicken? Yeah. Yep. Okay, you guys, so I also forgot to mention that this is the time of year where you're going to see totes on sale. It's kind of like the kids have gone back to college, and so look at this. This is great, right? Marked down to $7.98, and these are stackable. So like now is the time, either get them right now or you're going to get the Christmas colors like after December when for like Christmas storage stuff, they're marked down too. But if that bothers you, you can just go, you know, with those. But like that's a great price. I don't want anything too heavy. And in fact, the other day when I was here, I just forgot to record it. I got some of these bins here. Like I got 2 of these. I might get one more. They're so nice. These stack too. And so I just love how easy they were to get into. I think I'm going to get one more. And look, yeah, see, $14.43. That's not bad because you're paying for the design. And I like that. I like this a lot. Yeah, this is another good sale. It doesn't have wheels, but these are now marked down to $11, down from 17. Those are 7 down from 10, 18 gallon. How many gallons was this? 30. That was like a really good sale. But you know what? There's another spot like in the back of Lowe's if you go down this aisle. Because you know I know where all the clearance spots are. So let's check to see what we find there. Beep, beep. See, look, before I pass this aisle, look, all of these, I just see them because I know around like end of November, December, January, they're all going to be on sale again. So there's this. See, and I already have a lot of them, but I just like this like decor because, oh, that one's really pretty. This takes up no space for me to store. And then, oh my goodness, some of them actually already have tags. That's still a little pricey because I have found them for around $5. I really want this crab one because I'm in Maryland, y'all. I love this one. I want to come back for her. They don't come with the stakes. I don't need one because after you have like a couple of them, you're fine. But I'm not going to not take them because I do have so many flags. And normally this is where I find them. They don't have the stakes, but these are like $9. Okay, I don't see anything that I need, so let me get out of that section. I'm looking for some organic seed starter. I don't want the Miracle-Gro stuff in it, but I don't see that they have that, so I'll probably just pop into Lowe's, which is about 15 minutes away on another day. Oh my gosh, see, this is why you need to keep a worm bin. 4 pounds for $12 when it's really just your kitchen scraps. Or look at this bone meal when you can make your own with a pressure canner. Y'all, oh my goodness, from like bones you already are eating from like chicken. Okay, friends, so bit of an update. I only was able to leave with 2 of the planter stakes because those were the only 2 that when I got to the register were still $4.97. The other ones were like 15, one was 12. And I don't need to get them because I know that everything is going to be in that clearance section. So I had to put my chicken back, but I did get the Snoopy and I got that beautiful long magnolia one. And so, sorry, I think the radio just came on. But yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, I think sometimes I was reading something where like sometimes stores will do that. They'll put the things that like are marked down, but not at that advertised sticker price that they know is gonna like get you. And I am okay with absolutely leaving it at the register, right? I don't feel any kind of way. So, okay, let me drive home. If this is our first time meeting, hi, I'm Cassandra from the blog becomingafarmgirl.com, and I'm here to help you live a farm fresh life in your kitchen and your backyard without land or livestock. And we're really gonna be friends if you're also a small space 9-to-5 gardener who still wants a garden that's dense, doable, and downright delightful. Yeah, that's all I'm sharing here. And oh, if you're interested in a green stalk planter, you can use my code BeAFarmGirl or snap a picture of the QR code on your screen to get your discount. And can I just tell you something about my space? Because I know it's not all the way picturesque, but to me it is, because this isn't a space where I just snapped my fingers and it all came together at once. It's probably been about 4 years in the making, and you know, that's okay because I have thrifted half of the stuff that you see, and then I always wait until the end of the season to pick up other items. Okay, so this set, which I love for small spaces, and I actually have covers that I normally keep on this, but I thrifted this set. I thrifted this set for $80 2 summers ago, and I absolutely love it because you can fully relax and like put your feet up here, but again, it's not taking up precious space because again, I don't have a huge amount of space. These cushions are easy to clean. It came with a little table that's here. I'm not supposed to be showing you that. Oh yeah, but it's thrifted. Also, this potting bench, I feel like eventually as a gardener, you do want an outdoor workspace that's not always, you know, the table that we eat at, which is fine. I made it work. You just wipe it down. But I also found this for $50, Facebook Marketplace. It was built for outdoors. I love having this space. It even comes with like this wash station that's here with the basin. Oh my goodness, I'm just so appreciative. So yeah, I found this at on Facebook Marketplace. I also found this on Facebook Marketplace for $30, which was super awesome. And although quail are easy enough to dispatch at your kitchen sink, which I've shown you before, it is easier just to take them right from the cage to over here and get all that stuff done outside. Y'all, I get excited over small things, and this isn't a small thing to me because, let me bring you in a little bit closer. I mean, come on, this setup right here is so nice. I remember when I just had, you know, those buckets that I was using, they totally work. It's what I already had. I just repurposed them. But now being able to have this like right here at my workspace, I mean, this is going to be so nice. And then yes, as you notice, I'm actually just going to go ahead and leave one of my tools right on in here. Okay, so how can I say this? Even though I do like watching how people kind of change their spaces and give it a makeover, I personally am not one of those people who is going to have a dramatic before and after, you know, like over a weekend or over a couple of days or over a month or something like that. That's just not how I do it, right? Because either I'm going to thrift it or like catch it on sale or think about, okay, this space, and I kind of knew that from the beginning, and this is what we've done, this is what we do with everything, right? It's to give yourself a plan over a period of whatever it is, you know, like months or years. And so yeah, like piece by piece, as I've been putting this space together and really optimizing what things need to look like, especially since I have so many planters. I mean, I have 5, and I think I'm going to set up another one in the spring. We'll see. We will see. But having things that were like on wheels and movement, because there are a number of tasks with gardening that are related to your setup. Okay, let's continue. Okay, and as you can see here, I went ahead and I just stuck a label on this. So this is my vermiculite and perlite mix. So this again is on wheels, and I'll just take it and I can either mix it over here. I already have about this much, but I just added the bags right on top. And I'm telling you, this just feels like insurance. This is so nice. I have my sifters in here because I will likely add some of my worm castings. Well, I will. I know that I will. So yeah, I have my vermiculite, several bags of that, several bags of the perlite that's already in here. And then as we look underneath here, again, this is the part that's covered. So I'm just going to leave those bags right here. It's on wheels, so as I need it, I can just easily move those bags out here. And then I labeled this bin green stalk accessories. And so those are all of those items in there. Now, I really like this bin because I think I'm going to start keeping my feed in here instead of in the buckets. It holds more and it's just more convenient. And this one is technically empty. I did go ahead and I have here a label for potting mix. I don't have anything in here just yet. Now, when it's time to start your seeds, can you imagine having something this compact and complete being all you need to get started? That's right. This is everything I'm going to use to plant 108 crops. 108. All right, let's plant some seeds. You're going to fall in love with the seed starting kit. It is so compact, and once you buy it once, that's everything you need season after season after season. And so when you get your seed starting kit, you're going to get this gorgeous manual. So there's no like tiny print, and they really set you up. So let's go ahead and walk through this together. I'm telling you, this is so comprehensive. It gives you all of the steps to go ahead and get started. So the first section has tips on before you begin. So it's things like if you're growing indoors, how you can use your grow lights. And then it's also recommending that you use a light and fluffy potting mix. That's actually what I keep a lot of here in this big bucket. So again, light and fluffy. You want to avoid things that have like heavy wood chips and things like that. So now let's go ahead and move on to the steps as you start planting. And the first thing you want to do is moisten the soil before you put it into your different seed cells. So I'm just going to go ahead, since I only have, can you see this? Yeah, this much left. And I'm just going to take my canister and pour it right in here. It's kind of just by feel, right? You just want to hydrate it enough so that like the soil sticks, or the potting mix sticks together. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, it's feeling really good. So here is kind of what I have now. You can kind of see how it's clumping together a bit, which is what you want. When I squeeze on it, you don't want enough for like water to come out, but it is damp and it is clumping together. Now I'm working outside, so I can easily just hose and sweep any soil away, but I do love that you have this built-in workspace that's here that also doubles as a carrier. So we're gonna lay this down, and then we're gonna take our seed cells and let's go ahead and lay those down. And then go ahead and add your potting mix to the cells. All right, so I have the potting mix in our first tray of seed cells, and I think what I am going to do is, this is not me planting my entire fall and early winter garden. This is me coming out with 10 minutes on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock before I go ahead and get the rest of the day started. And so I'm just going to do, I think, 2 trays, and I'll do one with these seeds, and I talked about all these seeds in my fall seed haul, and then I think I'm going to do an entire tray just of my mosh seeds. These are so good. I love, love, love this lettuce. And then this is where I'm not fancy at all, but I'm just gonna like take my fingers and like push it down at like into the first bend is enough for like most crops. Ready? This is super technical, okay? Boom. That's it. I just do this. Now I want to go ahead and mention this because your personality as a gardener is somewhere along this spectrum. And so in your seed starting kit, you are going to notice that there are these templates and they are mirroring your seed cells. And so what this is you're going to notice that each cell has a corresponding letter. And that letter, can you see it? Like this is the letter A right here. And here's B and C. They're easy to see like in person, but I think my camera is picking it up. There's D, right? And here's E. And so what this allows you to do is that as you are planting, you are going to be able to have a record keeping system using this template. And so it's already providing you within your booklet, like multiple pages. But here's the great thing, and I'm telling you, like, this is what Greenstock does. So if you need more templates, you can just scan this QR code and then print them out and keep them in your own binder for future reference, which is so awesome. Now, what I'm going to do, I think if I just had like maybe 1 or 2 Greenstock planters, that would be really excellent to have. But for me, in general, I am going to go ahead. So that's maybe if you're planting like, if you want like 2 to be spinach and 1 to be this and 1 to be that, or like whatever, that template is really good for that. And that makes sense. But for me, I'm just going to say like, this whole thing is one thing. And then I'm just going to use some tape and like, you know, go ahead and say like what it is. So I'll go ahead and get that out. Let's go ahead and get started with this broccolini. Okay, friends, so then the last thing I do, and I just like to do like each step for everything so I kind of know where I am, is I'll just take another little handful of the potting mix to spread over top, and then I'll just pack that down, and then I'll snap the little globes over top. Yeah, so that's all I'm doing right now. Again, this is just covering up the holes that I just made with my fingers. Okay, friends, so the only thing left to do is just to put the dome on top. And you just want to make sure that, like, since they're going to be snapping here on the ends, that you just maybe take your finger, go around the perimeter. But like, what I like about these domes is that there's nothing where it's going to like chip or break off, because all you do is just place it down and like line it up. I mean, where you can clearly see where it's going to go in. And I just applied the gentlest squeeze. That's it. Like, they're in there. Okay, so as I mentioned, if you're working inside, having it on this mat is going to help keep things just like your mess contained. But I am going to go ahead and walk these up to the top of my deck just so they can get some sun. So now I'm going to go ahead and just transfer them onto here. There's this nifty little handle here right in the middle. And now we're going to use these pretty green ones. All right, you saw how incredibly simple yet organized and secure seed starting can be. What I love about the Greenstock design is that everything is modular, and so you can always kind of customize it, piecemeal it. It's easy to move, and so right now, to walk up all of these starts, all I have to do is just grab these handles and go upstairs. Okay, so let's go ahead and check on our seeds. I feel like I planted these about 2 weeks ago. Now we're still having average highs every day of around like in the 80s, but in the mornings it's like the low 50s. And so here's my mosh. So she's starting to show. It's still pretty warm. So these friends, again, they love the cool weather. So they're like, girl, you know it's still too hot. But yeah, looking good. So this entire thing was the mosh. And then over here I have my cabbage. Looking good. More cabbage over here. Yeah, these are really looking good. Sorry, I have all these leaves because like I'm right underneath a tree right here. Let's check on the broccoli. Yep. More mosh because I love this stuff. Spinach. Yeah, and then my beets. I really encourage you to do this in the fall because that's when your memories about gardening are still fresh and accurate. Because in the spring, after being indoors for the winter, you start to romanticize things. But the person you are today, right now, oh, they're super realistic. So my goal for next year is to do one more Greenstock planter. That's it. I'm not building a greenhouse. I'm not tripling my space. Why? Because I want growth that supports my life, not overwhelms it. And now that I've done all this, future me is already set, so there's less temptation. And this is why I haven't burned out with gardening. It's 15 minutes most days, sometimes a little longer on the weekends during the summer. And because I link my garden to cooking and preserving, everything I grow has a purpose. And truly, that's what keeps it sustainable. But what does little old Cass know? Because most people aren't gonna wait until the spring. But not you, not me. We're already one step ahead. But before I go, I do wanna be a little nosy. So what is one pack of seeds that's been sitting in your seed box for years? Tell me in the comments so we can all get a little laugh. And then let's commit to having a garden routine that supports our actual lives. And I'll see you in my kitchen or garden soon. Take care, friends.